The pyramids of Egypt, colossal, timeless, awe-inspiring. Rising from the desert sands for more than 4,500 years, the Great Pyramid of Giza alone is estimated to contain over 2.3 million stone blocks, weighing a staggering 6.5 million tons. Its alignment to true north is so precise, it still astonishes modern engineers. And yet, for all their scale and sophistication, there is something deeply puzzling about these monuments. No blueprints, no construction plans, no detailed records. Think about that for a moment. Ancient Egypt is one of the best documented civilizations in human history. We have hieroglyphs on temple walls, papyri describing religious rituals, administrative texts recording harvests and taxes, but nothing that tells us how the pyramids were built. No sketches, no schematics, no architectural drawings. For structures that would remain the tallest man-made buildings on Earth for nearly 4,000 years, the silence is deafening. Why? Egyptologists argue that detailed plans may simply have been lost to time. Papyrus doesn't survive well in the damp conditions of the Nile Valley, and any documents could have decayed centuries ago. But others ask, if the pyramids were such central state projects, why do we find so little mention of them at all? Consider this. The Great Pyramid is attributed to Pharaoh Khufu, and yet, in all of Egyptian history, only a single inscription, hidden inside a chamber above the king's chamber, directly links his name to the monument. There are no grand carvings celebrating its construction, no triumphant records of the labor force, no royal decree etched into stone. For a civilization that loved to boast of its achievements, the absence is extraordinary. So how did they do it? Some researchers believe the blueprint never existed in the way we imagine. Instead of detailed drawings, the builders may have used 1:1 scale layouts traced directly onto the desert floor. British Egyptologist John Romer suggested they sketched full-sized plans in the sand, allowing workers to measure and replicate dimensions directly as they built. If so, then the plans were temporary, erased the moment construction advanced. Others suggest the knowledge was oral and practical, passed down through generations of master builders. Techniques weren't written, they were embodied, learned by doing, refined through trial, preserved within a guild of specialists. If that's the case, then when those builders died, much of their knowledge may have vanished with them. And yet, the pyramids don't look like the work of trial and error. They embody mathematical precision. The ratio of the Great Pyramid's perimeter to its height matches an approximation of pi. Its base is level to within centimeters. Its orientation is within a fraction of a degree of true north. These aren't happy accidents. They're the work of minds that understood geometry, surveying, and large-scale planning. So why is there no record of that knowledge? Some argue that the secrets were deliberately kept hidden, a form of sacred, restricted knowledge. The pyramids weren't just tombs, they were cosmic symbols meant to connect earth and sky. If their construction methods were tied to religious or mystical traditions, perhaps only the high priesthood and royal architects were meant to know. And perhaps secrecy itself was part of their power. Others push the mystery further. What if the absence of blueprints tells us that our understanding of Egyptian history is incomplete? Could the pyramids represent knowledge inherited from a much older tradition, a forgotten culture whose records were lost in the floods of prehistory? Göbekli Tepe in Turkey, dating back over 11,000 years, shows us that megalithic building existed long before the pyramids. Could Egypt's monuments be part of a much deeper story? We may never know. What we do know is this: despite centuries of study, the pyramids of Egypt remain an enigma. Massive in scale, precise in execution, and yet mute in the historical record. No drawings, no plans, no instructions, just stone. Stone laid so perfectly that it has endured millennia of wind, sand, and time, leaving us with one of humanity's greatest paradoxes. The most monumental buildings on Earth, and no surviving evidence of how or why they were built. Perhaps the pyramids themselves are the blueprints. Perhaps the answers are hidden in their stones, waiting to be read. Or perhaps the truth was never meant to be written down at all.